What is up, adventurers? Today I'm going to take you on a gruesome, haunted ghost tale for the spooky Halloween season that takes place right here in Augusta, Georgia at this abandoned textile mill. Buckle up for this when it gets scary. Let's go adventuring. In the 1800s, this part of the Augusta Canal was booming because of that chimney behind me, the Confederate Powder Works, where most of the Confederacy's and the South's gunpowder was made right here. But in 1845, it was taken down, and this textile mill was built, where something really gruesome happened in the years following. On what was left of the powder works, this textile mill, the Sibley Mill, was built. It's actually one of two here on the canal. The other one, right there, that one's actually like really fancy apartments now. But this one is still abandoned, and this is where the thing happened. So in the early 1900s, men and women alike worked at this textile mill, working on making clothes, linens, you name it. Well, one particular woman, Maudie Williams, well, she was having a bit of an affair, and that affair started getting a little bit dicey. On October 20th, 1906, Mr. Arthur Glover stormed into the textile mill behind me and demanded why Maudie no longer wanted to speak to him and see him. She explained she didn't want to be involved in an affair and that it was time for him to move on. Well, Mr. Arthur Glover did not accept this, and he fired one lethal gunshot to Maudie, killing her. He eventually confessed to the crime, but the textile mill was never the same again after that. Workers at the looms would say they saw a woman in a ghostly apparition walking the floor of the sewing machines. That ghost of Miss Maudie Williams. Some employees even spoke of being able to actually have a conversation with Maudie the ghost. So I decided to walk over here to what is left of Sibley Mill, and it has been abandoned since 2006 as a textile mill. So we're coming up on like 20 years of this place being completely abandoned. A few years ago, they actually had Mel Gibson in here filming a movie. I forget the name of the movie, but this was active, one of Georgia's longest active textile mills. But I'm gonna walk around and see if I see Maudie's ghost floating around. And as you can see, it has definitely seen better days. People are coming in here. They've boarded it up a bit to try and protect the facility from homeless people and such from getting in. They just don't make stuff like this anymore. I mean, you can smell the mildew coming from the inside of it. It reeks. Now, I am wearing flip-flops, and I don't see a place where I can actually get in right here without hurting myself on the loading dock. All right, so I found a way into the loading dock without hurting myself. I'm gonna try and get you guys a little peek inside this old, haunted textile mill where a woman was murdered because she did not want to be a part of an affair anymore with one Mr. Arthur Glover and Maudie Williams. Now, I'm not going to go inside because I don't want to trespass, because I don't see private property signs, but it is private property. Maudie Williams, are you in here? think there's electricity going through here. Can you imagine this place being full of workers? All right, it's really creepy down there. No sight of Maudie Williams today, murdered by Arthur Glover for spurning his advances in a torrid affair. So that's all that's left right there of the Confederate Powder Works building, the one in front of it. The actual mill starts right here. I walked in a little bit, but it reeks of mildew. Last I heard, they were looking to turn this into an actual high-rise luxury apartments like the other one. This one down here has actually been modified recently, and it's now luxury apartments, but this one still remains abandoned. So I wonder if they ever do turn it into a luxury apartment. People knew that a woman was shot and killed here in 1900s. It was built 1880. Arthur Glover's house is actually a block away from the mill, and I drove past it. I was going to film, but it's kind of in a sketchy neighborhood, and there were people on the porch. So Arthur Glover actually did die by hanging 2 years after murdering Maudie. He was appealed twice because he knew people high up in government that got him off. He tried to plead insane, but the court found him to be sane. He even went to a local park, Lake Olmsted Park, and fired at people with a gun randomly to try and prove how crazy he was, so he wouldn't get the full weight of the law being forced on him for a murder charge. But he ultimately lost the case, and he was hung. The news article actually lists that it took him 20 minutes to die by hanging, so that's a long, painful death. So history and haunting collide here at the Sibley Mill in Augusta. Next time you drive by, look outside here and see if you see Maudie Williams wandering the premises, being killed by one Arthur Glover. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. I will catch you guys on the next one, Adventuring with Chris.